Hey June, what the fuck is going on, you crazy bastard?
What's up, everyone? I'm Shafi Malik, and you're listening to the Who Dropped the Popcorn podcast. The premise is simple. One of us picks a film that we know the others haven't seen. We all watch it and come here to discuss it. Joining us to put their hands in a pain box, chew on a poison and gas tooth, and ride a giant sandworm is Dave McHugh.
Walk without rhythm, and you won't attract the worm.
Andy Newlands.
Oh, you got sand everywhere.
and all the way from the somewhat north of England, Kyle Hammond.
Boom, 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 let me hear you say wayo.
Wayo.
Boom, 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 let me hear you say wayo.
Wayo.
Boom, 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 let me hear you say wayo.
Wayo. Man, your pussy is so fat. Sorry,
Wow, sorry.
Sorry, I forgot about the next lyrics.
Well, cancelled now, Dave.
Here's your warning. We'll be going into heavy spoilers. So if you haven't seen the film, we thoroughly recommend you watch it before listening to this. This episode's choice is Kyle. Kyle has chosen two films for us. The first was released in 1984 and was written and directed by David Lynch. The second was released in 2021 and was written by John Spaeths and Eric Roth and directed by Denis Villeneuve. Yes, you guessed it. Both films are called Dune, and Kyle has given us the gargantuan task of having to watch all 293 minutes of both adaptations of Frank Herbert's sci-fi classic novel. Kyle, why do you choose these films?
This is awkward. I actually want us to watch the 2005 film Doom, starring The Rock.
If only. I wish.
As you know, we're all gaming experts on this podcast, so I thought we'd discuss that video game film. No, I'm joking. Well, as you all know, I'm the Dune expert of this pod. I've read all the books, seen all the films, watched all the documentaries and TV shows, and I wanted to educate you guys about the Duneverse. Again, I'm joking.
Wow. Is that an actual term? Duneverse?
It is now, yeah. To be honest, I never even heard of Dune until probably 2 years ago.
Really? Wow.
And this is just a blatant way of cashing in on getting some more listeners. Because obviously the film's just come out. And I thought it'd be nice to have another 1984 film starring Dean Stockwell as well.
Exactly. He's been in every single one of our films. He had a cameo in the mid-90s. It's amazing. He was the main skateboardist. He's the main skateboardist. I'm
actually a big Star Wars fan, and there's I'll do a whole bit later, but Star Wars does steal a fuck ton from Dune the book. So we'll go into that later.
Cool. Thanks for that, Kyle. So, Andy, there's a lot to recap for this. So
I'm not sure I can.
I'm going to give you a challenge.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to
give me 30
just
seconds.
Pretend you're a publisher and someone asks you to write the back synopsis of the book in like two small paragraphs. Okay. So, and just sort of just summarize the film, and I'm going to give you a time. Gosh. I'm going to give you a timer. So
what's the timer?
So I'm going to give you 3 minutes.
Oh wow!
To summarize.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
So are you ready for this, Andy? Do you think you can do it?
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay, right. So should we go?
Yeah.
Away we go.
Hey, what's that you say? It's Andy's articulate analysis.
Okay, it's a mythic and emotionally charged hero's journey. Dune tells the story of this geezer called Paul, which is nuts because everyone around him has got the maddest names ever, like Harkonnens and bananas and all sorts. And this
Except
guy's
his mum is called
Paul.
Jessica.
Yeah, it's like
Lady
that's
Jessica.
so mental.
That's Lady Jessica.
Oh,
to you.
sorry.
Yeah, to us actually. And he is, I don't know, like a prodigal son. So he's a gifted young man, and he's born into a destiny far beyond his sort of own understanding. And he's like the Duke of something. His dad's like the Duke. They're from an important family, and they travel to the most dangerous planet in the universe to ensure the future of his family and his people survives. And this planet is very important because the planet has, God, I don't even know if this is the right word, but a material called spice. And spice is essentially, what's that? Spice
melange.
Okay, wow, that sounds like a badass pudding. So
it sounds like a rapper. That's what it sounds.
It does sound like a rapper.
It sounds like Post Malone's cousin or something.
Yeah, it's a little cousin. So, oh shit, 1 minute 30. So spice is so the whole film is basically because of this spice, and spice is, I guess, the ring from Lord of the Rings. It's the Force in Star Wars. It's that sort of type of. I don't even want to. I'm going to use the word thing. Sorry, that's so awful, but it's just this thing that is like very important, and it basically helps traveling across space. And then there's basically lots of there's like a war that happens in this film. So there's the natives of the planet who are annoyed at all the people coming to get spice, and then there's like other groups and houses across the universe that want control of the planet. And it's brilliant. And there's so much more to it. The characters are amazing. There's this big, fat bastard
30 seconds.
who's like the Scottish guy. And he's called the Baron. He's one of the best villains you'll ever see.
Shall I do the countdown music?
There's witches. There's sand. There's sandworms. It's an amazing
15 seconds
movie. Thanos is in it. That's pretty mental. It's
10,
it's
9,
a film you've got to see at the cinema.
8,
it's
7,
if you've waited to go to the
6,
cinema, congratulations,
5,
welcome back. Get
4,
to see Dune. It's got sand,
3,
fire, and
2,
Thanos.
1.
Watch it.
There you go.
Oh, sorry guys, that was terrible. There's
Well
too
done,
much.
mate. That's good. That's good.
Well done.
That was amazing.
Oh,
That's good.
okay.
That's very good.
I'm impressed.
Right, I'm going to have
Well
another
done.
vodka.
Viewers, if you're expecting a very complete analysis of the film's Dune, exploration of the lore, etc., then just switch off now, because we're just four dumb
Yeah, you're in the
guys
wrong
that
place.
have never really heard of Dune until not long ago, and we're just going to give us our very surface level thoughts and probably take the piss out of it, to be honest.
But leave your thoughts on Twitter and all that, yeah? Like, tell us where we've gone wrong.
Dave.
Let us know where we've gone wrong, because I want to better myself.
What Kyle was saying is that none of us have read the books.
No.
So none of us have read the books, right?
Yeah, it's a film, mate, so what are you on about?
Okay. None of us have read the books. So the fact that we'll start off with Dave, because you sounded quite surprised that Kyle had not heard of Dune earlier than 2 years ago. So how about you, Dave? How aware were you of Dune?
Yeah, well, it's weird. It's kind of, I'm such a big David Lynch fan, and Dune kind of sits in this weird thing that I never really wanted to watch Dune. Not that I would care. Like, David Lynch could release 100 bad films and it wouldn't affect me in any way, but I always just didn't really want to watch Dune. It just didn't sit right with me. But I was always intrigued. So when Carl said it, I was like, oh, sound. And then I watched it and I was like, wow, I get it. I get why it's got a cult following and stuff. And it's just like, it's just too much in one film. It's just crazy. It should have been a trilogy, at the very least, a trilogy or a 9-hour film, whatever it wants to be. But yeah, it didn't work for me. It kind of made me feel a bit sick at times, and Sting was in it. And that knife fight was so bad. If you want to watch a good knife fight, I recommend Under Siege. And it was just, yeah, it just didn't sit right with me. And that fat bastard just floating around like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It was just weird, man. It was just so fucking weird, and it just doesn't sit right with me. But then the remake, I thought it's unfair, because in retrospect and in hindsight, you can make a better movie and better special effects and stuff. And yeah, I thought To be honest, it's bad, but don't watch the first one. Watch the remake.
Wow.
Well, I mean, there are some people that would disagree with you.
Yeah, I disagree.
Some people. Yeah.
I don't think anyone's ever disagreed with me, actually.
What parts made you feel sick?
What do you think made me feel sick?
The boils.
I think it was when the big fat Willy Wonka rapey man was doing the weird physical hug rape with
that
the
whole
boy.
scene.
That
It was just horrible. It was disgusting. And then he kills him, and all of that was just, oh man, it just repulsed. But anyone ginger on screen makes me feel a bit uncomfortable.
Oh, Dave, come on, man.
Dave, come on.
Wow.
By the way, just to the viewers,
Dave is ginger, by the way.
Dave's mum.
You're a
Dave's mum
Scully.
is ginger.
So what the fuck are you talking about?
I am one of those weird people.
Like Shafi says,
I have
your
black
lovely
hair,
mum Mary.
ginger. If I have a ginger beard, and my
You do have a
pubes
ginger
are
beard.
like kind of like a tiger. Weird.
That's mental.
Okay, so
Thanks for that answer, Dave.
Just, I don't want to go into the law, but I said I wasn't going to go into the law, but in the books, he's actually a pedo.
Wow.
He rapes kids and shit. But obviously, so that's a bit much. We'll leave that out of the film.
To be fair, like Gillian Anderson is my favourite girl ever. So I've got no problem with ginger people.
is the rest of the episode you just apologising to ginger people?
Mom, I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, Mom.
By the way, TFI Friday was my favourite TV show.
I love Garfield.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. No. I'm just saying. I really fancy Gillian Anderson.
Okay, right.
Even now, actually, I say back in the day, even now.
Have you ever done anything to Ed Sheeran? Or you're right. Or about
let's
Prince
just
Harry?
let's just say I stuck a few pages of an FHM magazine together.
Wow.
It's worth a lot of money, that now, Dave.
I know.
Andy, what was your awareness of Dune before Kyle announced the films?
0. Just like most other films that we've listened to, I had 0% awareness.
Wow,
that
how
this
have you not
thing
heard of
existed.
Dune? What's wrong with you guys? Jesus.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised you guys hadn't at least seen the book in a bookshop, whatever. But
These two have
library.
never been in a bookshop in their lives.
yeah,
Oh, whatever, mate. I had library cards at junior school. I used to love those days. Go in and like read about Bigfoot.
Yeah, you just go in and rent a film.
Kyle, what are your feelings now that you have now seen both films that you've chosen? Do you regret the choice? Or
No. No.
Yes, you do. You do. Come on. Be honest.
I don't know. Just
Tell the truth, Hammond.
a lot of the reviews
Tell truth.
of the new film are either it's amazing or I'm not sure. Nobody's given it a bad review. The first film, I'm glad I've watched it, and I actually quite like its fucking weirdness. It's weird as
Yeah,
fuck.
it's mad, isn't it? It's just, I want to watch it 6 times. I want to watch
And
it
to be honest,
times.
like if we're comparing it to other films from that year, so you know what we've done on here, so Buckaroo
Blood
Banzai,
Simple.
I preferred it to Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't think I preferred it to Blood Simple. Dave's going to kick off it. I probably preferred it to Paris, Texas.
Fucking obviously.
That's fucking mental.
It's just fucking weird. The stuff
It's
I didn't like
wonderfully
about
weird.
it was required though. So there's so much exposition at the beginning where just like people just talking, explaining shit. But without that, you have no idea what the fuck is going on. And in places during the new film, as stuff's happening, I'm like, oh, I know what's happening here because I've seen the previous film. Whereas people who had never seen that film would be like, what the fuck is going on here? I have no idea.
Well, there's so much internal monologue, isn't it? It's just constant internal monologue.
I hated that. Really hated that.
Yeah, it's just constant. It's like, if I don't catch that thing, it might kill me or it'll kill the person that comes in. It's like,
But it's all
we get it. It's
whispering.
a threat.
I hate whispering in films.
Yeah, I hate
You're not going to
whispering
like
at
the
the
new.
best time.
You're not going to like the new Batman film, then.
Has he got an internal monologue in that? Yeah, it's
He's got an
rumoured, isn't
internal
it?
monologue, and he
Yeah.
whispers in it as well.
No
Where have you
way,
heard that then?
really?
I remember I sent you that thing, and then the trailer sort of you hear a bit of it in the new trailer as well.
Yeah, but you sure that's a film?
He
I doubt
goes.
it.
So he says, "Someone started a fire, and Riddler's the match." Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah,
Ugh.
he's. But yeah, anyway, go on.
I want to come back to that Batman trailer in a bit, actually, because I've got something else to say.
Well, you can talk about it when I'm not listening.
Okay.
It's not going to be a spoiler. It's not going to be a spoiler.
It is. It will be, because whatever you say, it will increase my knowledge of it, so it spoils. So I will, honestly, after the podcast, thank you very much.
Yeah. So Andy, what were your feelings after watching that first film then? As in I'm guessing you watched the 1984 film before the 2021 film. So what
we all did, yeah. We all watched that one first, yeah.
I believe so.
Nah.
Yep. Oh,
no,
I
didn't.
Shafi.
Didn't you?
No.
I watched half of it before the 2021 film, and then I watched the second half after it.
Yeah, but that did where you stopped. Did the 2021 version go beyond that?
No. I kind of stopped it just when there was the attack on House Atreides.
So you understand what's happening then, because it's made quite clear in the first film that the Emperor has given control of Dune to double cross them and get the Harkonnens involved in double cross, whereas the new one didn't make that clear at all. And it wasn't until Duncan Idaho says something like, "Oh, they double crossed us," that you realised.
Didn't it come from? I can't remember now. It's all such a big blur now. But anyway, okay. If you say so,
I might be wrong there. Dave, Andy, interrupt. Am I wrong there?
Honestly, I'm not sure. It's mad. I'm just not sure.
You watched the new one at home, so you probably have better recollection of it than.
Well, no, because I watched it at home. I was very much kind of like nodding, and it's only when I put the headphones in that I was kind of awake.
That was sort of like me in the cinema. Anyway, Andy. So what were your feelings of the original film?
Right. So, point one. Wish I could go back in time and not have watched the first film when I was knackered. I suggest if you're watching this film, take a day off work and you start watching it at 9 o'clock in the morning when you're fully focused, because there's a lot going on. So
it's insane, isn't it?
Yeah. I loved it, to be honest with you, but I didn't enjoy watching it. I know that sounds mental, but I had to watch it over 2 days, because the first 30 minutes, like some of the stuff, like when there's like a space worm firing out a laser from what I think is its anus, and that is spice exiting the buttock hole, and that allows space to fold in. That was too much for me. I was like, I got a big day at work tomorrow. I cannot cope with this. And then, so I was like, all the next day, I was like, I cannot be asked to watch the rest of this film. But I did watch it. And I loved it. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah,
like,
it's weird, isn't it?
As I say, it is weird. Like, I didn't enjoy watching it.
But we are just talking about the 1984 film.
84, yeah, just the 84 film. For me, it was different. I liked the madness of it. Like, I liked the inner monologue and just the crazy shit that was going on. And like, it was kind of haunting at times, like a haunting sci-fi. And I actually think the new film could have done with a bit more of that. It kind of lacks the madness of the first one.
Yeah, 100%
So
agree.
for me, really tiring film to watch. So much going on that, like Dave said, it shouldn't have really been one film, because obviously I didn't know anything about it. But at the end, I was like, Jesus Christ, there's like I didn't know there was a book, but I was like, there's definitely like books involved here, because that could have been 3 films, and you could have learned so much more about the different houses and the witches and the powers and spice and all the rest of it. So yeah, a tiring watch, but it's one of those films that once you've watched, I like thinking about it now, and I'm quite glad, not in the same manner, but like I like sometimes thinking about Darth Vader and Anakin and all these crazy stories. With Dune now, I now have that same ability to just ponder on that universe and that world. So I think it's cool, and I really enjoyed it. But it made me really excited to see the new one, because obviously the 80s, I can't blame it. It was in the 80s, but I was a bit gutted at like some of the effects and stuff. Granted, it was the 80s. So with the new film, I was like, holy shit, they could really do something special here. But what I found in the new one is they nailed it on the like CGI stuff, but it lost some of what I felt was the sort of core positive attributes from the first film that I loved, like the madness, I'm in LSD world. I wanted more flying worms and crazy lasers, and the Baron in the first film was one of the fucking most mental villains. Like, he's disgusting. It was horrible watching him. And I was really disappointed with how the Baron was portrayed in the new one. I didn't get that same villainous vibe. So I'm very conflicted with this whole film. I might even just go a bit further, but even when I was in the cinema watching the new one, I really struggled. It might have been late and I might have been tired again, but I was almost bored in parts. I thought it was quite slow, and then there was amazing scenes. I was like, fucking hell, that's great. And then I was bored again. With the first one, wasn't so much bored because there was always something crazy going on. So overall, I was disappointed with the films, but I'm really, really glad I have been introduced into the universe.
The Duniverse from now on, please.
The Duniverse, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Dave, you've got opposite feelings to Andy, where you prefer the remake. So tell us what you think the remake has got right that the 1984 version didn't get right.
Well, it's a bit unfair of me to say that because obviously the special effects work better and stuff. I just quite liked it. I always found it just looked quite cool. This remake it just looked cool. It had that grey kind of effect at all times, and it just didn't try to put 3 films into one film. I felt that it was about the right amount of time to tell the story. I thought they got the balance right. But I do agree with Andy to some extent. I was quite bored sometimes. I think they could have probably done it in 2 hours, if anything. So it did drag a bit at times. But I just felt, yeah, let's do it. If you cannot put that much into one film, that's where Dune massively falls down. The original 1984 one. It's just impossible to follow. I don't care who you are. You cannot take that film in one watch. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
You need a break.
There was that bit before the third act, wasn't there, where it was just all exposition, where it was like 6 years have passed.
Crazy.
So that woman, sorry, the princess that was at the beginning, you hear a voiceover again saying 6 years have passed. Bloody, no, Virginia Madsen, princess.
Right,
the girl from Sideways.
Yeah, Virginia Madsen, but I don't know what the character's name is.
So yeah, she's at the beginning on screen, isn't she? But then before the third act, she comes back and she's like, does all this exposition saying this has passed. It's like, well, wait a minute, that could have been 2 hours of another film
in itself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
to the max.
Okay, so
what about you, Shaf? Because when you left the cinema,
what about me, motherfuckers?
You looked like you wanted to.
No, wait. Dave, it's nice, by the way, it's very nice of you, Andy, to ask, because you guys get very self-obsessed on this podcast and you don't even ask.
Excuse me, I did a whole video and that video broke the internet with the amount of views it got.
No, but Dave,
just very quickly, Shafi, I forgot to ask you your favourite Bond in that video. So who's your favourite Bond?
Who's my favourite Bond actor?
Yeah, I forgot to ask that. Sorry.
Timothy Dalton.
Nice.
Legend.
Gritty.
It's the best.
Oh,
but Dave, you it's sort of odd because I thought you would start this podcast raving about the film we saw together, because you left the cinema saying that was amazing, and you even texted it in our group saying that was amazing. So
it was amazing.
Why
it was
amazing?
Okay, because I can't. It's weird. I don't know why. I found it amazing, but I don't really know why. I need to watch it a few more times again. Like the first one I have to watch 6 times. This one I probably have to watch 2 or 3 times. It really sat well with me. I just thought it was cool. I really, really enjoyed it, but don't ask me why, if that's okay.
I wonder what it would have been like to watch without watching the 84 one.
Yeah.
Because the problem I had with it is all the time I was watching it, I'm comparing it to the 84 one, and I'm comparing it to the storyline. I'm like, hang on, that's not right. So I'm kind of a bit gutted that I watched the 84 one, but, shit happens.
Kyle, so, you haven't really talked about the remake then. So what are your feelings towards this remake?
I just want to answer to what some of the other guys have said. I kind of agree with Andy that I preferred the Baron Harkonnen as like the ginger covered in warts guy. But I did find that Stellan Skarsgård, kind of bald dude, was way more threatening. Whereas like the ginger guy was just like fucking a bit weird and creepy. Yeah, disgusting and creepy. But in the remake, it seemed way more threatening. Just like that bit where he's in like the oil bath. It's just fucking weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
It reminded me of Harvey Weinstein.
In fact, I've watched a video on YouTube and someone did a side-by-side with Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, and he's like, got the bald head and he does that. And he puts his hand down his face,
He is channeling Colonel Kurtz.
I'm going to go in the bath later and do that with Radox, and I'll post it to Instagram.
No, thank you.
What I quite like, though, is I think that Denis Villeneuve was probably like, right, we're going to make them ginger again. And the shit like, whoa, that's offensive, man. You can't make them ginger. All right, I'll make them bold instead. As a man that's going bold, I'm offended by that.
Sure.
Okay, let's get this right. Say after me, Villeneuve.
Villeneuve.
What did you say, Villeneuve?
No, I said Villeneuve. It's like
Really?
it's like Jacques Villeneuve, the racing driver. Come on, man.
All right. Okay. All right. Sorry. Yeah. Nice. So, and do you regret not watching the remake in the cinema?
Yeah. I think I do because this might go on a tangent here, but I'll bring in the Batman thing. Yeah, the visuals are stunning. So apparently the visuals, I mean, they look great on my telly. I'm sure on the IMAX screen or even on just the cinema screen, they look amazing. Does that make a good film though, or a great film? Not always, man. I don't think it does. Just because you've got great cinematography and great imagery, if the script's not there in that, then I don't think it makes a great film. And that's why we've seen the Batman trailer and we're like, holy shit, the cinematography and the imagery in this looks fucking amazing. It doesn't mean it's going to be a great film.
Yeah.
But comparing the two films to the 1984 film, I thought it was weird as fuck. I thought the exposition was too much. I didn't like the inner monologues. The new one, to be honest, if I'd not seen the original, I would have struggled to kind of know what the fuck was going on. But despite that, I thought it was safe. I thought the remake was safe.
Yeah.
Safe in what way?
I just like the Lynchness of the original. Just weird as there's fucking what they called the weirding guns, like the way they point a gun and then I'd shout and that powers the gun. What the fuck? That's so weird as fuck, man. Who comes up with that shit?
I know.
You mean the Cookie Monster guns? Because I've heard a voice like that.
I prefer the Minecraft force fields in the
exactly.
one and they're fucking amazing. That's like interstellar shit. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Apparently, that's the first really CGI on top of a human body in cinema history.
So it's tremendous, that.
Yeah.
CGI on top of a human body.
So they've done CGI before. So like the original Star Wars film actually has CGI. You know the target thing when they're stay on target. It's like do. Apparently that's one of the very early uses of CGI in cinema. But this in Dune is the first use of CGI being over on top of a human body.
Wow.
So rotoscope, computer.
It probably wasn't rotoscoped. It was just some nerd drew it.
I gotta say, man, the some of the scenes in the new one where like the Duke's gone down in his Dragonfly helicopter to get the guys out of the machine, and you see the worms coming in.
Yeah,
that is spectacular in a cinema. Like that is. Yeah, I know the fight scene at night time was awesome, but Christ Almighty, we've come a long way from Tremors. That was unbelievable.
Have you got IMAX yet? Then you guys?
No.
No. So Shaf, I was going to ask you because when we left the cinema, you looked like you wanted to kill yourself. And then, so I get the feeling you hated everything about Dune. Or let's put it in your words, it wasn't your cup of tea.
Yeah, I think that's probably it. It's just not. I could sort of go on a rant, and maybe I'll leave it to the end. But
yes,
let's talk. Let's talk about the things we like, because you said you want your corporate sandwich, don't you? So So if we take it in turns regarding who our MVP actor is from the original and from the second film. Andy, we'll start with you. Who was you hear that typing away because Andy's Googling the cast.
Characters.
Shafi, please go on and rant later because it is great. Please do it.
Yeah, go on, Shaf.
Yeah, and not now.
So my MVP from the first one, I'm not going to say Patrick Stewart because of that mullet it was up until the mullet. I was like, this is outrageous. But it was the Baron. Like the Baron really affected me. It was like when we were in junior school. And do you remember we watched that alien, the man with no face,
the thin man.
The thin man. It was like there's just certain characters over the years that were just stuck with me, like the Baron from the 84.
Haunt you forever.
Sorry to interrupt you, but has anyone rewatched the Thin Man scene as an adult?
I don't remember it at all, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my God,
I don't remember the Thin Man.
Kyle.
I remember the boy from space. I remember Stig the Dump.
Space, yeah.
It's from the boy from space.
Yes, the boy from space. It's basically the first. His dad, I think, the boy from space's dad first appears, right? And he sort of appears in this these. What would you call the area, Andy? It's sort of like sand dunes, and you see him. So. The kids notice him in the distance, and then
it's unbelievable.
And then they're like, oh my God, he's coming closer. And it honestly, fucked me up for like most of my childhood. And watching it as an adult,
Yeah,
watching it as an
too.
adult, watching it as an adult, it's just as traumatic. If you type in the Thin Man boy from space and think these teachers basically sat everyone in front of the TV and they probably went outside and had a fag. They're like, yeah, don't worry about that.
Nutters.
Fucking
Nutters.
put the boy from space on while we kind of talk about, you know, when we're going to Thackeray's over the weekend or whatever.
I'm gonna make my kids watch it, man. I'm gonna make my kids watch it tomorrow.
No, honestly,
I don't know. It's
I'm gonna make them watch the RoboCop death scene as well.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so sorry,
I'm gonna have
Andy.
to change my film choice, and we're gonna watch the
The Boy from Space.
fucking.
It's a TV show, so we might have to sort of a bit. Most of it is just teaching us how to spell, but in between teaching us how to spell, they basically make you shit yourself. Yeah, okay, right. Sorry, Andy. So the Baron.
That was awesome.
The actor that played the Baron in the first film, and then what about the second?
So that guy, Kenneth Macmillan, I've never seen him in anything before. I've no idea who he is. I don't know if you guys have seen him before.
I can't remember where I've seen him before, though. I'm pretty sure I've seen him before. Dave, do you think you've seen him before?
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure from what, but I definitely have, yeah.
Andy, you're the MVP of the second film. What would you say it is?
There's quite a lot of choice. So I could go with that Stellan Skarsgård or whatever, like the new Baron, but because the first Baron was so badass, I don't feel I can go with him. I'm not going with Dave Bautista, that crazy fucking wrestler like Guardians of the Galaxy. No.
Dave Bautista.
Aquaman, I was thinking about him, but no, that was a bit much for me. So it's a toss-up. It's a toss-up between Oscar Isaac and Josh Brolin, but I think I'm going to go for Josh Brolin, who played Gurney Hall, I think.
Halleck.
Sorry, on my computer screen, it's just cut off after the second. Because he was just quality, like just as a general going into battle, and the nighttime battle scene when he was leading them, I was like, fucking hell, this is what the cinema's all about. So I'm going to go for Josh Brolin.
Okay, how about you, Dave? Who's your MVP of the first film and the MVP of the second film?
What does MVP mean?
Oh, fuck off, man.
Most valuable penis.
Fucking hell. Just say Sting and then Javier Bardem and then we'll move on.
Like, generally, what do you mean?
Most valuable player. Basically. It's what you say.
You've never played NBA Jam. You insane.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Never listened to rap music, Dave. Fuck me.
Good question. Well, for the first one, I'm going to give it to Kyle MacLachlan. I'm a big Kyle MacLachlan fan. And then the second, I'm going to give it to the woman from Mission Impossible. She was by far my favourite.
Rebecca Ferguson.
Oh, Lady Jessica.
Maybe in the first one, it might be the French guy, the Duke. What's his name? What's his name?
Dad.
Yeah, the dad. Yeah.
Oscar Isaac. He's not French. Oscar Isaac.
No. He's
the first one.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's German, I think. Jürgen Prochnow. Yeah, I don't know.
Probably is French, yeah.
He was in Das Boot. Judge Dredd, don't remember in that. The original Judge Dredd.
He was in, I'm sure he was like a baddie in some kind of film like The Glim Man or something like that. But I'm a big fan of him. I think he's a great actor. But probably, but definitely Mission Impossible woman.
Yeah, Rebecca Ferguson, yeah. I thought she whispered. I thought she whispered a bit too much.
Yeah, but I'm such a fan.
I can't believe how much you hate whispering. I never knew this.
Basically, right. I used to be
whispering, man.
As you know, I used to be in a band, so my hearing is fucked. Like, it's proper fucked. So even watching it with the AirPods in, like, you've got all this fucking loud music, like Hans Zimmer just kicking off, and then, Paul, come with me, Paul. Like, what the fuck is she saying? I can't hear.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I never thought
Even
I'd
in the
say
cinema
this,
with Bon, Lea Seydoux was just like, but James, I love you. Like, just fucking talk.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
I think we're going to start a new section of this pod called Whisper Watch, where we go through a film looking for the whispering, and I just moan about the whispering.
There are so many films where you think like you have to rewind it once, right? Subtitles now.
Mate.
It's so frustrating. It's like, what the fuck did you just
But
say?
like Blood Simple, when I had to read the script to understand what the fuck that text was going on about.
Sorry to bother you. They did fucking mumbles a lot. Proper mum. I was like, what the fuck are they saying?
Lakeith Stanfield is sort of, his cadence is sort of like that.
Yeah, I had to put the subtitles on for Sorry to Bother You. I'm upset, but I did.
Okay, and how about you, Kyle? Your MVPs of both films?
Sean Young for the first one, because I love Sean Young.
Oh.
And for the second one...
Who the fuck is Sean Young?
She played the Zendaya's character in the first film.
She was Rachel in Blade Runner, and she was in Ace Ventura, played Pet Detective.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you believe like that was a film? Ace Ventura wouldn't get made today. Like it just wouldn't. Like when he's like kissing, he's like brushing his teeth and stuff in the shower. Like that just wouldn't get past.
I don't know.
And for the second film, I don't know. I'm just gonna say David Dasmalchian because he's a guy on the up. I like him. He's a cool guy. He was great.
That's cool. That's a really cool shot.
If you watch the latest Suicide Squad film, he was really great in that. So forget this film. He was Polka Dot Man.
Oh, right. Okay, right. Yeah.
Have you seen that?
No, I was trying to figure out who the actor is, but now you've said both those films, I know who you're talking about. So, yeah.
Yeah, he was in the Dark Knight like years ago.
He's like practically a bit role in like lots in Ant-Man.
Yeah.
He was in...
Yeah,
that's right, yeah.
well.
He's the Baba Naga guy, isn't he? Yeah. He was in Blade Runner 2049 as well. He has the most brutal death in that film.
He was in Prisoners as well, wasn't he?
I don't remember him in that. I've not seen that for years, but...
He's like the suspect who gets beaten up by Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, he was like faking it. That's such a weird character, wasn't it?
His death in Blade Runner 2049, where the replicant just like chops him on the back of the neck, and he just like collapses on the floor, just spitting blood out while he's on the floor. Grim, man. Yeah.
You've rewatched or you watched Sicario and Blade Runner in preparation for this?
No,
right?
I didn't get around to Sicario, but I had to rewatch the original Blade Runner because I've not seen it for 10 years, and I'd seen it twice. I still couldn't remember anything about it. So I had to rewatch the original Blade Runner. I said to you guys, I think I watched the wrong version because I watched the original theatrical version. And then I watched 2049 as well.
It's not really the wrong version. Some people love that version.
Yeah, Blade Runner's not for me. I discovered during watching those two films that it's not for me. Again, Blade Runner 2049, amazing visuals, but it's okay.
Full stop.
It's okay, yeah.
I love them both so much, but I love the first one off the chain. Every time I watch it, I love it more.
The opening of the new film was one of the fucking most mental openings ever.
Yeah, what was that? They did what? It's like,
I couldn't believe what was going on.
It was the Cookie Monster voice. Like you hear is it the Cookie Monster voice, and then you see the little quote.
It was. You can't just go from like "Welcome back to the cinema, go and have a Coke" to that. It was just fuck, and I was like, "Shit, this is going to be fucking crazy."
Is that those weird fucking worm Jabba the Hutt people? It's one of them.
I think so. I don't know what the fuck it was, but I turned to Shafi, and Shafi was like laughing his fucking head off. Like, he was like basically saying, like, "We need to film us watching this film," and then I was like, "Here we go." It was honestly just fucking nuts.
So yeah, Kyle, you said you want to talk about Star Wars.
Yeah. So, I'm a big Star Wars fan.
Here we go.
I know Shafi hates Star Wars, so I'm doing this just
I
for
don't hate Star Wars. I don't
We've got a group called Shafi and Mark Hate Star Wars because basically you refused to watch The Mandalorian, and Mark was like, "I'll just finish the latest series of The Mandalorian." Meh. I was like, "Fuck off, man."
I know. Mark, if you're listening to this, watch it again because I'm outraged.
We'll text him and say, "Mark, you're in this episode. You need to listen to it."
Well, the guy that shot Mandalorian shot the second film, didn't he?
The cinematographer.
Yeah. Greg Fraser, right?
I mean, shit, Kyle,
so.
remember that worm in the Mandalorian in the desert scene?
Yeah, so that was probably
crazy,
similar to the Sarlacc pit worm or whatever.
Yeah.
So
wow.
I've got here, obviously, although the film came out after, the book was 1965, so like quite a bit before Star Wars come out. And apparently when the first Star Wars film came out, Frank Herbert, who wrote the book, was like, I might sue them. And I really hated that film.
Wow.
So basically Arrakis, I love that Arrakis is a great name for a planet.
Yeah.
Arrakis and Tatooine are basically the fucking same thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
So Arrakis has dual moons, but Tatooine has dual suns.
Yeah.
Sandcrawlers are basically, they're literally the same.
Yeah, shit.
So there's the sandworms in Dune, and then you got the Sarlacc pit in Star Wars. But in the special edition Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, they actually made the Sarlacc look quite similar to how they look in the 1984 film. So in the original film, it was just like a hole. But then when they did the special edition, you actually see like a worm thing come out of the hole, which just looks exactly the same as they did in the 1984 film. Spice is a drug in both, so Han Solo is a spice runner.
Holy shit, yeah.
The voice that the Jedi Bezerit do and what Paul Atreides does is basically Jedi mind control, isn't it?
Yeah, it's mad. That's what I was really blown away with when they were sort of on that spaceship together. I was like, whoa, that is literally just mind control. Yeah, it's mad.
Where was Daniel Craig as a stormtrooper in that scene?
In the original film, you meet Princess Leia, who is Paul Atreides' little sister, who grows really quickly.
Rest in peace.
Who?
It's talking about Aaliyah, the R&B singer. But anyway, go on.
Yeah, Princess Leia, and then the big slug creatures are basically Jabba the Hutt, aren't they? So, yeah. There's probably way more, but
incredible.
This is just off the top of my head. There's probably way more, but I've not read the books and stuff, despite being
You need to get this information out there, Kyle.
I'm sure there's a YouTube video on it already, man. Just search Dune on YouTube. It's fucking mental.
But also, A New Hope was
top 10 things missed from Dune.
So, A New Hope was released in 1977, right?
Yeah, but the book was 65.
So, Jodorowsky was developing.
Jodorowsky.
Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah. He was making a Dune film that was set to be released in 1977. Is that right?
I know it was 70s, yeah. There's some weird fucking stories about this. Like, who did he want in it? He wanted Paul Atreides to be played by Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he wanted the dad to be played by Salvador Dali.
Nice. Great.
Apparently Salvador Dali was like, I'll charge you £1 million a day. So they were like, okay, we'll just get him to do a load of voiceovers on one day and just dub that voiceover on someone else. It's fucking weird. I don't fucking know. But in the end, I've just got it up here now. But in the end, they wanted to, I think he wanted to make it into a 14-hour film.
Wow.
And they were just like, no, go away.
Yeah.
There's a documentary about it, which I've not watched. It's very good about it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really good. That. So, Andy, do you think if they do release a part 2 for this, one thing is, were you aware?
Oh, and Pink Floyd were going to do the soundtrack.
Oh, yes, naturally.
Right. So, yeah, the 1984 version was done by Brian Eno and what's that band called?
Toto. So Brian Eno only did the main theme, the dun, 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 which we need Andy to do a voiceover for before this episode.
Oh, no worries.
But the rest was Toto.
I really liked your Hey June song. I think we should keep that.
Hey June. Yeah.
But what I loved about the original, when they're riding the sandworms, it's just like a proper air guitar.
That's right, yeah. That's proper Flash Gordon.
It's like fucking Mad Max.
Well, yeah, they should have had a guy with a guitar just on the sandworm going.
That's all I was thinking. Fucking, where's that fucking bass player from Limp Bizkit gone?
So Andy, if they make a sequel now, would you be interested in watching it?
Well, unless they're going to make a sequel, aren't they? Unless this does terribly.
Well, yeah.
It's done quite well, apparently, so they probably will.
Yeah,
but
it's weird, this. Like, yes, I naturally I will go and watch this. Not because I enjoyed... God, it's funny, this. It's like I was saying, I haven't really enjoyed the films, but I've really enjoyed the experience of having this universe opened up to me and being able to think about it. Because, it's like Dave was saying, there's so much going on all the time. It shouldn't just be one film, but it's just cool to have seen it, and therefore, essentially, you got a ticket to just explore characters and plot lines in your own imagination. So yeah, I'd happily go on opening night if there is a part 2, and I hope there is a part 2, because it'd be good to see where this film and franchise can go.
How about you, Kyle? Would you be interested in watching the sequel, considering you know what happens in the end?
Well, no, because the 1984 version, a lot was cut or left on the editing room floor, wasn't it? So you don't know what. And Lynch made up a load of shit that wasn't in the book, like the bit where the cat is they're milking the cat.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's fucking weird as fuck, man.
Yeah.
They're milking this cat as the antidote for the poison, yeah. So that he just came up with that. Of course he fucking did.
A year.
And the weirding guns. So apparently in the books, the weirding way is like a kung fu, but David Lynch was like, I don't want to film kung fu in the desert. Sounds good to me, man, to be honest.
Yes, the max.
But let's make it some weird gun where you shout instead. But yeah, I'll watch. I mean, fucking, 3-4 years, I guess?
Yeah.
Get ready, viewers. Get ready. June 2. The Revenge.
No thanks. Has anyone else got anything to say about this film? How about
Me and Dave were talking about this. I think it's Dr. Yua or You, the traitor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You said you want to talk about him. Yeah.
Much preferred the first film where he was out to avenge his wife, rather than how they spun it in the second one where he was out to save the wife. I just thought it was kind of like a bit, not gimmicky, but like in the second one it was like, it was a bit of a letdown because the way they did it in the first film was like, fucking hell, like this guy's a badass motherfucker. He's just like...
Yeah, if I may say, that is such a mental thing to do, to sort of, just so that the person that killed your wife may be killed, you're willing to fuck over a whole planet of people. It's mad, isn't it? It's absolutely mad. Just so you can get your personal revenge, you will screw over everyone you've ever known. It's mad. It's so good. And that just blew me away in the chance, in the off chance that they'll be able to take their revenge.
I was really gutted when they didn't go that way in the second film.
But they changed who the victim was as well, because in the first film it was the Mentat, the guy with the red fucking shit around his mouth and the massive eyebrows. I'm going to go into the lore again here. So basically, Dune is all like analog because 10,000 years before, AI had kind of took over. So there's a war between humans and AI, and the humans won.
Matrix.
So really? Everything now is like all analogs. There's no AI at all. So which is why the Space Guild need the spice to navigate through the planets, and they have basically the Mentats replace computers. So in the in the original film, it was the guys with the massive fucking eyebrows and like this shit around their mouth because they drink this shit to make them more clever. So they're like human computers. But obviously in the new film, it's David Dasmalchian is the one for the Harkonnens, and for the House Atreides, it's the black dude. But they've all got like a weird thing on their lip.
Yeah.
And their eyes go white when they're thinking. They've basically been bred just to be like human computers as such. I forgot what point I was going to make now. Fucking hell.
That's so cool.
I don't know, that's awesome.
What did you ask, Shafi? I forgot what point I was going to fucking make.
I can't even remember.
Sam.
But, that's still awesome.
No, but that's quite... Do you think that's really... It's interesting that Frank Herbert is sort of writing...
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Writing a story that he's saying is post-AI, when basically the concept of AI at that time would have been not even in popular culture, let alone, it'd be a sort of like a brand new thing, wouldn't it?
That might be one of the later books that they announced that, though. I don't know. It might be like... Because he was writing them into the 80s and stuff, wasn't he? So...
But then, like, the Terminator was sort of a rip-off of one of the episodes of The Outer Limits, I believe. Is that right? Where a robot is sent back through time or something like that.
Yeah, I think, films like The Matrix and Terminator are more about warning you of the dangers of AI. But this is saying, well, we're over it. It's sort of like saying, this is a time where AI is just passed and we're kind of gone ahead with it, which is really interesting.
I wonder, maybe it might have been a bit more prevalent back in the day when it first started coming in, when you just, like, imagine a calculator, just like, wow, this is insane. Like, it would be just mind-boggling. Even now, I find a calculator mind-boggling. Like, wow, look at that. It's just incredible.
Especially like when you type in
boobies.
5.5318008.
I loved at school, like, you can't use a calculator. You won't have a calculator in your pocket at all times. Surprise, motherfucker, I do.
Little bitch.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that, to be honest. It's just, we spend our days using spreadsheets, and those are basically calculators. Yeah.
Why was Sting in this movie? Like, is this the only movie he's done?
Have you not seen Locked Up?
Come on. Quadrophenia,
no idea.
Lock, Stock.
Really? Holy fuck!
Sting has been in about 50 films, I'd say.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of films.
50 films.
I've got a question. Yeah, talking about Sting, the character Fade Routher is obviously going to be in the sequel. So who should play him? Now, bearing in mind that Denis Villeneuve reuses the same actors, I'm going to go with either Jake Gyllenhaal or Ryan Gosling. Yeah.
So who's that character? Remind me who that character is in the first film.
God
Sting.
knows who is he? Yeah, but who is he?
Oh
What
no,
is
wait!
his
That
role?
I thought Dave Bautista played
No.
him.
He's the other one. He's the fat one.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. So there's the Baron and the Baron's nephew, which is Stellan
David.
Skarsgård, and then Batista. But then there's another one. Sting was like the thin one. Basically, there was two fat ones, and then Sting.
Yeah, the good-looking one.
Oh, okay. I thought David, I can't remember his surname, played the fat guy.
No, he plays the Mentat, who in the original is poisoned when Duke Atreides bites on his tooth.
Oh, is that
releases the gas.
Brad Dourif plays him, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
But he should surely be in the first film then.
Yeah, they've left him out, so I'm guessing he's going to obviously appear in the second one.
Like he is like the force of.
No, he doesn't do anything until the end fight where he's like just jumping up and down. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you.
Right, interesting. I don't know, but I don't think they're going to get. Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Gosling are people that sort of are lead actors, so they're not going to get a lead actor to play.
If it was me, I'd go for Paul Bettany or Robert Pattinson, man.
Oh, good show.
I think these sprightly
Paul
motherfuckers
Bettany,
could play
good
that
show.
role.
Will they go someone that's nearer to Timothée Chalamet's age, though? Pretty young.
Yeah, maybe they'll get Tom Holland and fight
Holy
for
shit.
Zendaya's love. Tom Holland wants a bit. I'm sure he's going, what's going on? I want some of this Dune business. And he needs other than the Spider-Man films, he needs a hit, doesn't he?
He's doing the Uncharted film. I've not seen the trailer. It came
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
So yeah, there you go. As I said, he needs a hit.
This might be the first gaming movie that's actually good.
Really? Have you seen that
Silent
trailer?
Hill. No, I don't watch
Wait,
trailers.
have you not seen Doom from 2005? Come on, Dave.
Let's go back into video game adaptations again and talk about.
I like the Silent Hill movie. I don't care what anyone says.
I think that's everything then. Have we covered it, or was there anything else that anyone else wants?
Shafi, you said that about 12 times. I think that's everything. I do think it's everything.
Well, then stop being so fucking quiet then.
Couple of things I've written down which never ended up being in the general conversation. Spice is a metaphor for oil.
Ooh, cheeky.
And then the sandworms in the 2021 version look like rusty bullet holes. I think we do a one-word review for each film.
Ooh.
I've written two down, man, so I'm doing two, whatever.
Okay, right. So...
Hang on. Shafi, you seem so depressed that you've watched Dune. Like, what the fuck is going on? Why do you hate it so much? I've never seen you, dislike a film like this before.
Actually, yeah, Shafi, do your rant, please.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, man.
Be real.
I'm
Real,
so
man.
interested because you're obviously the guy on this that knows, you know your shit, man. So I'm fascinated to know.
Shafi, I
There's
love
two-
you. Shafi, you're amazing.
Andy,
Tell
I love
me-
you too. I love you too, mate.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
too.
Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And
So
yes, this is brilliant. Buckle in for 3 hours extra.
the thing is that I had no interest. Before Kyle announced this, I had no interest in watching it, and then Kyle told me the idea, and I was like, "Oh, that's actually a good idea." I was like, "That's actually not even thinking about the work that we'd have to put, like watching 293 minutes of one into one episode." And it was sort of like an
I took over
endurance
my
test,
entire last week.
but I think, and the reason why is because with Villeneuve's films, I've never, and I don't know, I went to see Prisoners with Dave, and I'm not sure if Dave sort of reassessed the film, but I remember us both leaving the cinema saying, wow, that sounded really intense and it looked really pretty and handsome. We were sort of underwhelmed by it. I don't know whether, Dave, do you feel the same way about that film? Or
Well, it's weird. I go back and forth from that film. It's every time I watch it.
not Prisoners. Sorry, Sicario. Sorry, not Prisoners. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. I was fucking well underwhelmed. 6 out of 10 for Sicario. Yeah, really poor.
And that's the thing. Like, I think there's been a new generation of film fans that are just in love with all of this whole filmography. And he's got this habit of making these very handsome films. I feel like there's no substance to them. It's, and the biggest. I mean, Prisoners was a good genre film, but it did feel like watching a CSI film. It wasn't really.
See, I watched Prisoners completely out of the blue. Didn't know anything about it. That was back in the day of Love Film. The DVD just arrived through the letterbox, stuck it in. I was like, this is fucking quality. Absolutely loved it. And I really loved Arrival. Have you seen Arrival yet?
Yeah, so Arrival is the one film I haven't seen.
You're not right, okay, yeah. Because Dave spoiled it for you, didn't he?
Arrival is the one film I haven't seen. But
I fucking love that film. That film is so good.
Yeah.
Apparently that is the film that has the heart and emotion that I feel is missing from most of his films. However, I actually really do like Blade Runner 2049 because, and it's not the filmmaking that sort of bowled me over, but for me it's the tragedy of that main character, Ryan Gosling's character. The fact that
it's so brave.
I think it does a better job than the original Blade Runner in the fact that these themes about identity. This is a character that really is kind of spending his whole life accepting who he is, but then something changes the course of his thinking and he questions his identity, and it comes to a point, going in spoilers here, comes to a point where it's something that he wants to hold on to. He's thinking, I'm human, and then that gets taken away from him. And for me, I was just sort of heartbroken for him. And he has this sort of relationship with Anna de Armas as well, and
careful,
that
Andy.
ends up
Andy's left. Andy's left.
No, this is great. I'm writing all this down.
That bit where obviously he's built this whole relationship with Anna de Armas, who's, I forgot her name, Joy. Is it Joy?
I think so, yeah.
And she's like this AI construct as such.
I've got one of those in my house.
That's the closest he's going to get to. It's a bit like her, isn't it?
Japan.
No, that's just an oven mitt and you've driven on her face on it.
That's naughty.
that bit where Anna de Armas, she doesn't die as such. She just switched off, isn't she? The replicant stamps on her fucking machine. That's gone, deleted from history. And then later on, he sees the advert for her.
Yeah.
And it's not her. It's just the fucking generic fucking thing. It's like, wow, man, that's deep.
That's the thing. As I said, like, I don't think the original Blade Runner didn't do that to me, and it was the writing that sort of pulled me in regarding that film. And so anyway, I have these sort of feelings about his films, and also Incendies as well. I think it's sort of a bit overrated, but that's the French Canadian film that he made before Prisoners. So when Dune was announced, I was like, I closed my eyes and I knew exactly what the film that I'm imagining, and it's going to be very handsome, and it's going to have this great cast, but it's just not going to click with me because it's the source material is this hardcore sci-fi that is going to be very po-faced and self-serious, and that was the film that I got to watch. But wow. So I didn't really connect with any of it, and the 1984 Lynch version, I kind of respect it for what it is. I think, I think at times it feels like a BBC production, but in a way you can't really, that's not really a fault of it. I think that's actually what makes it quite charming, to be honest.
Yeah.
And,
oh God, Shafi, I love
it's
you.
It's like a mad 80s Doctor Who episode or something, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it did feel like
LSD
that.
or something.
Yeah.
Just went
It's like Brazil. If you have watched Brazil.
So watching the remake, it did make me think of another film. Now,
wow, here we go.
You need to bear with me. It made me think of Tropic Thunder. Now, this is
no, that's what I thought. And then when I was leaving, I heard a load of people say that. They're like, doesn't that remind you of Tropic Thunder? And I was like, yeah. Yeah. That girl, when she left. Oh,
Shafi, you gone full on retard, man. You gone full on retard.
Why don't you go around and literally go fuck your own face, Shafi? What are you talking about?
Apple bud and jeans.
I will drink down that goo.
My criticism of Tropic Thunder is that it's a film.
Well, it's problematic for one.
Well, yeah, but I think the problem with that film, after it finished, I was like, everyone was too sort of loud. Every actor was turning up to 11, and none of the leads were like really the straight guy. It was just sort of loads of people trying to outdo each other in as far as sort of getting the spotlight. And if you watch Tropic Thunder, that's the very thing they're taking the piss out of. They're saying, well, these actors are more sort of driven by their ego rather than sort of, caring about what is actually, the film they're trying to make.
For your consideration.
Yeah. So it reminded me, when I say it reminds me of Tropic Thunder, Dune is doing exactly the thing that it's making a comment about. It's a film about colonialism, but then it's got all these like Middle Eastern elements, like these girls in niqabs, and it's sort of set in like wide deserts, and they've got all these sort of Bedouin type characters. I know probably people will be listening to this are going, well, they're not actual real people, they're fictional, but
we've not even got into that, man. Like Muad'Dib is like a Arabic name, and there's all sorts of stuff in there.
Yeah.
There's loads of Arabic phrases that are sort of like, all these white actors are sort of awkwardly trying to pronounce.
Apparently, the word jihad is in the original book, like quite a lot.
Yeah. Well, no, it's said in the first film as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the film, yeah.
So the thing is that in a way, that's what it's sort of strip mining bits of like MENA culture, like Arabic and North African culture. But thing is there's no Arabic actors in any of the cast. So when it comes to the Freeman, or Fremen, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
There's no, basically Javier Bardem's doing brownface, and there's no, and also fucking Hans Zimmer's score. If I hear that wailing woman in the background again, it's just going to sort of wind me up even more. Yeah, they didn't get anyone, even sort of regarding the costume design, it's all white people. So no one creatively behind the scenes is from that culture, and none of the actors are. So yeah, it just sort of like, it's just one of those things where somehow we're 2021, but still we're not being sort of progressive or anything.
Wow.
That's really interesting, man, because one of the videos I watched on YouTube was like the original cast was like completely white. Even like Dr. UN, Dean Stockwell, is like an Asian name.
Yeah. And
he's a white guy.
He's got this sort
he's
of
got the Fu Manchu touch, hasn't he? But obviously they're making mention of this, but they're like, oh yeah, the cast is really diverse in this one. So you've got like Zendaya and the guy that Timothée Chalamet kills at the end. And they swapped Max von Sydow for forgotten her name, but she's in Bad Girls on telly like years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, it's probably not progressive enough if they've got all these Arabic influences and characters and language, and there's no one Arabic in the film.
Yeah, and it's a film about colonialism.
Yeah, Shafi keeps it real, man. We're just three dumb guys talking shit about.
I know. It's so embarrassing when I hear
sorry.
I know.
The worms are like buttholes, and then Shafi's like, actually, it's about colonialism.
Yeah, it's just embarrassing. I'm sorry, I've let everyone down.
No, that's what I was
the Minecraft force field.
But anyway, that's
it. I'm leaving. I'm done. I can't. I'm so embarrassed with my stupidity. To be honest, pal, edit out the first hour and a half of this and just put Shafi's bit out and then end it.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, actually.
Look, listen, I've got a very small voice in this sort of conversation because
you're a legend.
But the majority, if you look at Rotten Tomatoes or if you look at very sort of bright people that are writing reviews, they're bowled over by this second film. They think it's amazing. So I'm not going to sort of shut them up.
Shaf, can you do that 3-minute quiz again and ask me what this film is about? And I will edit my fucking rambling shit 2 hours ago and I'll talk about colonialism.
As weird as it sounds, you're not necessarily slagging the film off, though, are you? You're just making it a point.
It's just, we're just talking about standards in the film industry. But the thing is that I'll end in this point is that, so Ridley Scott, someone said to him, I think there was he's been accused of whitewashing before, and I can't remember what film specifically. And he said, well, at the end of the day, I've got quite a large budget and I can't have it being led by Mohammed so-and-so. And
wow.
And then he's made a most recent film called The Last Duel with all white leads, and the film flopped. So
it looks fucking wank as well, that film, man. I saw the trailer and it looks shit, yeah.
You ended that trailer saying it looked good, Dave. I thought you said you thought it looked good.
No? What? No, I didn't.
Maybe. Oh, I thought you said it was
Dave.
good, but maybe I'm wrong. I think.
No.
Okay, this is going to make my film choice pretty.
The last straw.
Okay, just going to look up films at the cinema quickly.
Choose a gritty film from 1984.
Nah, no joking. I can't do that.
Okay, so let's do one word reviews then.
It's the one word review. The one word review. The one word review from us to you.
Except for Dave, who says,
It's the best.
So we'll start with Andy. What is your one word review of both the 1984? Yeah, first the 1984 film
Out There.
and the 2021 film.
Marmite.
Okay, and what about you, Kyle? What's your one word review of the 1984 film?
Absurd.
And what about the 2021 film?
Circumspect.
Fucking hell, we are taking things up.
And Dave, what is your one word review of the 1984 film?
Fucking mental.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
And the 2021 film?
Fucking well good.
Yeah. Nice. All right, cool. So now we've got to round 3? No, round 4. We got to round 4.
Mate.
Shit, yeah,
Wow.
round 4, yeah.
Okay, so Andy, have you actually picked the last jewel?
No, not at all.
Right.
I promise.
So I'm introducing a rule round. So I think every so often we do a rule round where there are certain rules that you have to stick to when picking a film. So it has to be an animated film, has to be blah, blah, whatever. This rule round is going to be not a film from 1984.
Great.
Okay.
I agree.
So Andy, what is your choice?
Okay, so guys, I've chosen the 2005 film Doom. That's a joke, by the way.
Great.
It's just a joke. It's a
Awesome.
joke.
Oh,
That's a joke. That's a joke.
I was excited.
Right,
there
let me
for a
say it
second.
again. Let me say it again.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. I have chosen 2021 film entitled The Harder They Fall.
Oh shit! I really want to watch that. Yeah. Is that out? Is that out now, or is that out next week?
So it's out in a few weeks on Netflix.
The trailer
are
is so
invited
good.
to my house to watch it, Kyle, if you want to watch it at the same time and zoom in or whatever.
Oh, that's the
feel
Western
free.
film. Yeah, Shafi sent the video a while back, yeah.
Yeah, it's an American Western film.
It's got it's got the best cast ever.
Crazy.
It's got the best cast ever. Our boy Lakeith Stanfield's in it.
So I think it's out early November. In fact, here we go. Streaming on Netflix November the 3rd. Thank you very much.
Shafi, do you know what time it is?
No, what time is it?
We workshopped this all week, man. What the fuck? Anyway.
Dave, do you know what the fuck these two guys are talking about?
It's time for Shafi to get his dick out, I think.
It's time to release.
Okay, guys.
It's time for the popcorn post bag.
Oh, yeah!
It's the popcorn post bag. Tweet us if you're feeling glad. Success or fail, send it in an email. Popcorn post bag. Leave a like so we can brag. Maybe read it out on air. The popcorn post bag, yeah.
That's really good.
We've got 2 bits of posts in the popcorn post bag. We've got an email and we've got a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. So this was from, I think pronounced Gic1, it's GICQ1. Came across this podcast and thought I would give it a go. So glad I did! ! So easy to listen to and so funny! ! Can't wait to listen to some more and also check out some of the films they talk about. Well, thank you, Gic1. If you want to just tell your friends about us, that would be great. Thank you.
Wow, what a lovely person.
What a legend. I love this guy.
And then we've also got a message here saying, I just listened to your Mortal Kombat episodes. You guys were like a group of tourists trying to describe the Amazon rainforest.
That's right. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. We're not gamers, as we said, yeah.
Andy, let the people know how they can get in touch with us.
Okay, you can get in touch with us at the Popcorn Postbag. Please send any questions, comments, praise, hate mail, or one-word reviews to whodropthepopcorn@gmail.com, or like, follow, harass us on Twitter at whopopcorn, or on Instagram at whodropthepopcorn. You can also leave a review on your podcast app, and please remember to like and subscribe. You've been listening to Who Dropped the Popcorn. We really appreciate it. See you soon.
Bye.
Haters.
Cheers, bye.